Greetings, nomads.
Greetings, nomads.
You are now listening to the Intergalactic radio show at 101.7 WFO, where we bring all upcoming space grooves to you. Welcome back, listeners. You are tuned in to episode 14 of the Intergalactic radio show. How is everyone doing? Hope you've had a nice weekend with all those egg-shaped chocolate things or whatever you've been doing on Earth and what have you. Yeah, fantastic. Well, I was mostly, as you fully well know, enjoying some nice vacated time away. Oh, some Citica bulbs. I met up with a couple of old friends, actually. Some people I haven't seen in a long time. It was nice to reminisce and all that, but at the end of the day, there's just only so much bullshit you can have fed in your ear on catching up time before, like, half hour in you've run out of time. And yeah, so I've had a great weekend. Nice to be back in work now, back on the radio show, living life to the max. Episode 14 today is called Livin for the Cost. And there's a reason for that, nomads.
We broke.
Oh, times are just getting harder and harder and harder to live in, and I thought I'd bring in an old friend today to have a chat about this. Her name is Tragic Jones. Absolutely lovely woman. Haven't seen her a long time, so it'd be great to catch up with her. This is episode 3, Living for the Cost. Big ups, nomads.
Coming live in the studio.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to Conversing from the Galacticast. This is episode 3, and our topic will be the ever-rising cost of living. Today we have on the show Tragic Jones from the Santos Milonas Working Class Council Housing Fleet. Good evening, Tragic. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Long time no speak. I haven't seen you in ages. How's things?
Evening, Caustic. Nice to hear from you too. It's been so long.
I know, it's been...
you know, this, that and all the other crap. Usual antics, different statics. Apart from that, though, I'm all good.
Nice. Well, good to hear. Hopefully we can get this chat going and find out who it resonates with across the galaxy, as I'm sure there will be millions in the same boat, as I know I am nomad.
Let's get going then. Where would you like to start? I've got bags of info for you.
I bet you got loads of information for me. Let's get going with your first point of discussion, which was about the state of the working class housing fleet. Let's go into that one a little bit.
Well, the Working Class Housing Fleet is a hedge-funded organisation that owns an enormous fleet of ships that house the less fortunate. They're run down, they're not looked after, and they're neglected by the rest of the Intergalactic Society. We're treated like scum, and the worst thing is they're strategically placed throughout systems in flourishing areas to make us stand out. We're like social bombs that are dropped into the higher classes.
Oof, social bombs dropped into the higher classes. Now, that resonates, nomad. I've just heard that over and over again from so many people I've had on the show in the past, explaining similarities and that. It's absolutely disgraceful, really. I had no idea it was that bad until I started discovering things. I don't understand how the working classes are treated so badly when we are the fuel that the world progresses from. It was not Harvidius the 89th on his iridium throne, but people like Nelson Dabbit from the Scrubs who changed how we farm foods in every system. Why are they not remembered? Just because they were working class, they get just forgotten about, and not while the rest of them just thrive on his great ideas. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, spot on, you've got it nailed. We get fuck all Kappa poppers and they expect us to pay top titty for an egg box with a living room and a bedroom in.
Yeah,
thieving scoundrels, the lot of them. They ought to be ashamed of themselves and bloody shitloads.
Oh!
Shut up, bastard.
Your dog's off, Tragic.
Bastard! Get out, bastard!
Whoa.
2 seconds, Caustic, the dog's off again.
That's no problem at all. You would have thought dogs would have actually be talking by now, considering they still exist. Oh, funny name for a dog, mind, aren't it? Man's best friend for eternity, eh, listeners? Oh.
Yeah, he's my loyal friend, and he always will be, but back now, what was I saying, sorry, bastard is a nightmare.
It's alright, it's no problems at all. I was just going to ask you, can you describe what you would expect to see on a housing ship? Just so the listeners, if they're not obviously from that background, they could just have a little insight into like what it's like there?
Yeah, of course I can. First you'll notice this incredibly non-aerodynamic shape, because it's a square. They're massively overpopulated with very little room to move, enjoy yourself or venture away from your living areas. and there's high levels of crime and drug use due to force-fed poverty.
Yeah.
But I will say, what we do have, which is one positive thing about the community, is an unusual bond to stick side by side, mainly because if one suffers from struggle, we all do. It's a pack mentality kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally get that, 100%. It's not the tenant's fault, that's quite obvious and I can see that. It's the shepherd of the working class forcing his sheep into tiny pens to spin income, and it's absolutely disgusting. You were mentioning the shitlords earlier, Trajik. I have a couple of them on my bounty hit list too. Bloody leeches, if I'm honest with you, and I think they need to be eradicated in some way, shape or form. What's your thoughts on them?
Exactly. Well, you know my neighbour, Paul Notsolin, who lives with Sheenan and Mel, 3 doors down from me? Oh, the one who used to grab Satiga off you.
Whoa! We won't be talking about that Satiga on the air if you don't mind, please, Trajik.
Sorry, I was just trying to think of how you knew him. Well, anyway, he got shafted by his shitlord 3 moons ago. He had a signal sent to him telling him that if he doesn't pay 2,300 kappa poppers by the end of the working day, he was going to be evicted. He never missed a day's rent or caused any damage to the property. He was just 2 days late. 2 days fucking late, Caustic. Well, I never. I went there and I started shouting at the shitlord, saying, "Where's your backbone, fella?
I bet you did.
Haven't got a heart inside that wallet of yours, have you? Scumbag."
Oh, good for you. I think, to be honest with you, if it was me and I had the Galacticast outside, I would have flown him straight off planet. I'm sure the listeners would have done the same. Hoorah, Nomad.
Exactly. Sometimes they just have to be told straight to their face. None of this signal warrior bullshit. They soon panic when you open their door and confront them.
Indeed, Nomad. Just wanted to move on to food costs before we come to the end of this Conversing from the Galacticast episode, just because I know there's not a huge amount of time left, so I want to just make sure we get all the topics ready for the listeners so we can now discuss that after this episode.
Yeah, that's no worries, but don't get me started on food. I go food shopping every week and keep coming back with less and less. One shopping bag of food costs me about 100 kappa poppers now. How? When it used to be 20 kappa poppers. It's just not sustainable.
It's disgusting, isn't it? I wonder when the nomads will rise up, because unless we do something, they're just going to keep doing it all the time. I can't be bait for the dinosaurs in Tyrannical Park anymore. Where are you, nomads? Nomads, where are you?
That's a good one. I'll tell that to my mates by the off licence. You're right though, I'll rally as many tenants in my ship as I can. Let's finally move their boot from our necks.
Nomads rise!
Nomads rise!
Hoorah! Well, we are coming up to the end of our segment. I wish we had so much more time to talk. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today, my friend.
Yeah, I wish we had more time as well, likewise.
Fantastic. As you are probably aware, our fans are massive music fans, so we always ask our guests to request their favourite tracks for broadcasts. Have you got something in mind today for the listeners?
Of course, this is my favourite section, but I'd like to request The Method by Hunters. It's such a great track, I've got it saved on my beat pod.
Yes, Tragic. What a great selection. Let's line that up next. I'm very aware of the track. It's one of my favourites. Well, listeners, this is the end of our Conversing from the Galacticast episode. Let's give some love to Trajik Jones. Way! Fantastic. Woo!
As always, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Caustic. See you soon.
Oh, you've been great. Let's roll into the track then, listeners. Here is The Method by Hunters. Let's go. What a banger.
Coming live in the studio.
The Method by Hunters. Selection from Tragique Jones, who we just had an interview with on Conversing from the Galactic Cast. Episode 3, Livin for the Cost. I think that's going to be really resonating with a lot of the nomads around the galaxy. It's nice to have a talk about these things sometimes without being completely drowned and swallowed by media around you. And just listen to what's actually going on at the source, because if you don't know, now you know, and that's how it is. Just a couple of updates from the fold. Big respects to all the nomads. Might go dive into the claps. I don't know how you've managed to do it, but hats off to you guys. Wouldn't catch me doing that in all cycles of existence.
Literally pukes everywhere.
Not for anyone, not for myself, because I just don't like the quantum clap. It makes me feel a bit sick, sets my stomach off, and when I'm taking Sativa bulbs, I just can't do it, so what's the point anyway? Also, for all you legacy refugees curious about what's going on, I haven't got a clue. It's still a shit show, and the caravan moves on. Another update from Mans Kilda. He's just offloaded his Lamano QS56 as well. Gutted.
What a shit. It was an amazing dream.
I have my eye on that little dancer. Stick down the back of the Galactic Cast. With all my other little shuttles, I probably won't ever drive anywhere because I'm wrapped up with WFO episodes every day of the week, and it's just non-stop at the moment. So we'll move on. Next up on the show is Seizure, as you fully well know. Very good friend of mine, love his music, one of the clones from the TuneCore manufacturing facility, and it's just nice to have him back because I feel like, I don't know, there's some weird bloodline between me and him, and we just seem to get each other. So this is one of his brand new tracks. It's called Subwalk. Absolutely love what he's done with this one. Check it out, listeners. Big ups.
Coming live in the studio.
just what an absolute banging tune. I love what he does with drum and bass. It's very similar to
Mate, think of it.
I can't think of his name at the moment, but it rings a bell. If anyone realises who I'm trying to think of on the radio show, please shout out and drop me a message, because you know my memory's like an absolute bag of bollocks.
Give us a bell.
Updates from the Cardano universe. We've got a little collaboration between Endmaker, New and Six City. They've got a record store open now. Please contact them if you have any of your music that needs distributed. I'm sure they'd be happy to have you on there. What a big success from them, and big ups to them. I wish them all the future. Also in other news, we got this impending doom of the rise of AI and synthetic threats. This is not good news for any artists out there across the universe, because there is a threat that we're going to be replaced, and they're able to produce work quicker than us, and so many other things. I can't actually get involved with it, nomads, because it breaks my heart, if I'm honest with you.
Don't get upset, no caustic.
Music to me is a very emotional thing, something that stems deeper than on the surface layer of me, so I find it difficult to talk about. But art should be made organically and not synthetically, because where's the meaning behind that? One to discuss on Nomads. Moving on, Cardano Thor crowns Threefold Gold Top 10 NFT minting experience. What an honour to have for the Druids of the Fold. That includes Fulter, Takes 32 and Rogue Tactics. Big ups to them, that is an absolute honorary achievement to have on their belt. Coming up next is a section for Rogue Tactics, and this is his Found Sounds from Tales from Gundalad. This is Chapter 1, Part 2, Riding with the Golden Girdle Lizards. Hope you enjoy listeners. Welcome back, listeners. I hope you enjoyed that little journey into Heschel's Rock, I believe he was, recorded in that chapter. I love what he's done with Gundalad. It's so fresh. It's really nice if you're broke and you can't really go anywhere and you want to do a bit of travelling. Just stick some headphones on and literally follow the footsteps of Rogue Tactics on Gundalad. What more could you ask for, really, listeners? I think it's brilliant. Just a quick shout out to some really important people in the space. We wouldn't be here without you. Much love to all of you. That is Geometric Narwhal, Claude, Speakeasy, Busy, Wadey, Zero Sum, Monad Alexander and Six City. Much love to all of you. This is the end of the episode, Nomads. This has been episode 14, Living for the Cost. I hope everyone stays safe, look after yourselves, stay fueled, stay classy, and stay in flight. Big ups.
101.7 WFO. Coming live in the studio.